Collective, tap in, Crown Collective, tap in. Hey, 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 welcome, welcome, welcome. Whew, my God, today, you're the woman who is doing what's never been done before. And I need you to understand how much of a blueprint this is because many of you are shading yourselves into believing that you're not doing the Lord's work out here. Tap in, my God, today. And I want to bring an awareness to you that we often give grace to children because they've never been on this planet before, right? So when they're learning something new, we're at least my generation, they're a little bit more soft and understanding and patient because we're looking at a brand new human being that's like figuring life out, learning how to walk, speak, figuring out systems in their minds, thought processes. Like we're watching them grow, right? But we rarely give ourselves in our older years, in our more mature years, the same benefit, be, the same benefit of the doubt because we believe that we should already know everything at our big old ages, right? Tap in, tap in. And I need to let you know that, like, girl, this is still your first time on earth. Okay, tap in, at least in this form. It is still your first time on earth. And to expect that everything just comes just constructed out of the box is absolutely insane. So, no matter where you are in your life, I need you to recognize that it might actually be the first time it's been done for you, for people in your lineage, and for generations to come. Tap in. Oh my God, today. So really, this is signaling for me like the woman that's doing something that's never been done before. This is signaling a high level of originality without precedent. Now, remember, I don't want you to get it confused that there has not been a path paved for beautiful women like yourself. There has been, but for you to put boots to ground, to put bra to boob, to put ovaries to the pavement, like girl, for I'm talking about you. For you to do it, it's a blueprint. Tap in. Yeah, it's original. And I need for you to get it through your beautiful big brain that this space still deserves grace and that you're stepping into an assignment that can't be copied, it can't be pasted, it can't be explained through a comparison because what you are blueprinting, what you are putting out here is really spiritually inherited. Tap in, oh my God, today. And that there had to be a billion, trillion, gazillion levels of particles that came together to make you who you are, to have the mindset that you have, to go through what you went through, and to persevere for you to get here. There had to be, we on some like Doctor Strange. It's only 1 in a 14 billion chance that we win here. Tap in. Woo. I need you to understand that, like, that's your assignment level. It's a 1 in 14 billion chance. And you are that person. You are that woman. You are that girl. Tap in. And so this unfamiliarity, I need you to understand this is not a flaw. When it feels scary, that's a flaw for the nervous system, but that's not a flaw spiritually. Okay. That's not a flaw for your assignment. What your nervous system is telling you to do is to just stay safe. Okay, that's what your nervous system is telling you to do. So when you are embarking on this new journey or this new level and you start to feel scared, just recognize, okay, that's my brain and my nervous system telling me to sit back and just not do anything to stay safe. What I am telling you to do is push past that fear. That's what I'm telling you to do right here in your face. Okay, so know that this fear is also evidence that the path required, the path that you're about to take requires somebody like you. Yeah. Yeah. Hi. The path that you are taking requires not somebody like you. It takes you. Okay. I'm not on the journey of you, and you are not on the journey of Cass. Okay, we might have similarities in what we're trying to achieve, but I cannot put on your shoes and do what you do. Tap in. It's a specific makeup that it takes, not just in the soul and the spirit, but in the mind and the journey. Tap in. Oh my God, today. So I want you to understand that this message is going to resonate to the woman who feels isolated, who feels scared, and maybe even unsupported because they are going on a journey that is new, but it's also God given. And that's what we have to understand. You're breaking barriers. Like people want to talk about generational curses all the time, but let's talk about you like breaking out of the box of a space that you were once comfortable in, and you are choosing to be uncomfortable to forge a path that's never been done before. And the lineage, the generational benefit that has, you won't be around to see it. I won't be around to see it. But my God, does it imprint on our future to take the same opportunities so they don't have to face the same fears that we did. So they don't have to wait until they in their 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s and sometimes 70s and 80s to make a change that is this drastic. Like this is a blueprint that fits you, no one else, but the reward is so much bigger than that. Oh my God, today this message is for women who are in their arrival era and are choosing to be witnessed. And if you're asking me, oh my gosh, Cass, what is the arrival era? Girl, let me tell you, okay, I have a fireside chat coming up on Zoom on February 15th, 2026. That's a Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I am answering all of your questions about what it means to be in your arrival era. How come many women that are in their arrival era do not get witnessed the way that they want to, and many other things. You get to ask me questions. This is an intimate space. So you make sure that you click that pinned link in the comment section or in my description and get your tickets today. Oh my God, today. Now let's talk about the woman who is on this blueprint of amazingness, right? Let's talk about this woman who is doing something that's never been done before, because I need you to be very clear, collective, and I want you to mark my words on this entire conversation, okay? You're making decisions without a reference point. Yeah. And there may be systems that are in place, okay? So let me not completely just leave you, hanging. But when I say reference point, I mean like there's not really a marker that you can remember from an example personally that you can go back to and say, you know what, yeah, my granddaddy did that, or my grandmama did that, or my great 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 great, there's not a marker. So you are actually creating a mark in your generation that says, listen, I've been here before. And let me tell you something, the spirit recognizes that. That's why when you are called to do something amazing, the call itself is not unfamiliar because you feel it. You know that it's right. The journey may be, but the call is not. So when you feel it rumbling in your spirit, when you feel it rumbling in your chest, you're like, I know I have to do this because it is imperative that this mission that God has given me gets completed. That's a Holy Spirit calling to you. But the pathway to the journey, girl, no, man, there ain't no reference point for that. So you figuring it out. And I need you to understand that is normal. That's completely normal. And you know what else? In this space, you are trusting your discernment over tradition. Now, let me be very clear about a woman that's in her arrival era. Many people think that, oh, when you arrive, when you're in a space of peace and you know who you are and you operate out of sovereignty, that means that you've never gone through anything a day in your life. My God, today, that just the girl, what? No, you've been through so much, which is why you are comfortable in operating in your sovereignty. That's why you're comfortable in saying, absolutely not, get out of my face, right? Tap in. That's why it feels okay for you to draw those boundaries. But when you are doing something that's never been done before and you are literally drawing a divine blueprint that's never been seen on this level before. Oh my God, today you are trusting your discernment more than you are trusting tradition. And a lot of y'all are breaking tradition. A lot of the traditions that happen in your home, that happen in your entire lineage, that happen in your schooling, in your education, that happen in your holidays that you celebrate. A lot of you are breaking cultural traditions by taking on a path that's never been seen or taken on before. That's why this is almost like, if like like if you shall choose this mission, it's mission impossible. If you shall choose it. And many of you do, and you get frustrated at a certain point because you know that there's not a blueprint, there's no instructions written down. That's why I asked you at the very beginning to please have patience with yourself. Just like a child doesn't has never been on has never lived years in their lives on this planet, and they're figuring out, so are you. So are you. So trust your discernment. Trust your discernment. And you know from experience, because you're in your arrival era. Thank you. Because you're in your arrival era, when you don't listen to your discernment, what happens? You get punched in the forehead. Tap in. Those lessons come down hard. And I need you to also understand, beautiful woman, that you have to get very comfortable in this journey, in this space. You have to get very comfortable for you have to get very comfortable with being misunderstood for a very long time. You're going to say a lot of things that are prophetic. You're going to say a lot of things that it sounds like may sound like gibberish to a lot of people. You may say a lot of things that just don't make sense to many people, and they won't catch on until later. And when I say later, I mean like you're so prophetic that people probably won't catch on to what you're saying, doing, or laying down until years later, which I know is frustrating. But that's really what happens when you start laying the blueprint for a life that you desire, that you want to build, and also that's going to make an incredible impact for generations to come. And I need you again to be very patient with the slow recognition. Oftentimes, when you are in your arrival era, especially if you're new to your arrival era, my God, today it will literally be times where you're just like, okay, am I getting this or not? Is this supposed to move or not? You have to trust the stillness in your journey. Not everything is so fast paced all the time. And I feel like as women, because we're always on the go, we're always move, move, move. And it's never a rest, it's never a moment of peace. I feel like you get used to that. And I'm telling you, in your arrival era, you better get used to it. It's like if you've ever served in the military or if you've ever been in worked in government, there's a phrase called hurry up and wait, right? So you rush to one place, you rush around, you do all these things, and then there's nothing to do. There's this liminal space where you're just like, okay, now we have to wait for the outcome. Now we have to wait for our number to be called or to sit down, whatever the case may be, right? In this building, in your arrival era, this blueprint that's being forged, that you're forging, there's going to be a lot of spaces where it's quiet. There's going to be a lot of moments where nothing happens, but that still doesn't mean that the divine instruction is not set. And this is where you truly get into your belief practices. And by that, I mean your prayers, your meditation, if you're still writing in your journals, if you're still speaking out loud, if you are still cleaning, doing your water rituals, your fire rituals, anything of that magnitude, okay? your affirmations, that is where this liminal space lies. This is where you truly do it with intent. And it's such an intense focus that you'll be surprised that in your liminal space, what you ask for will start to appear once you reach your next level. Tap in. Sometimes even before that. The other thing I want to tell you is that I want you to get comfortable with things making sense internally, even when the path forward doesn't look so clear. There's going to be a lot of times where you see the end goal and you see the end results, but to get there, it looks a hot ass mess. Tap in. Okay, there's going to be a lot of times where that comes. Trust that. That goes back to trusting your discernment. Okay. That goes back to knowing that your discernment is going to override tradition. Tap in. So be aware of that. And you know what else? I need you. And you know, many women in their arrival era, they get this. But if you're new in your arrival era, I need you to take this and take it like in your spirit. Okay. You're going to have to be comfortable or get clear that you will be leading without validation. Yeah, tap in. Oh my gosh, let me tell you something, baby. You have to get comfortable with leading without validation. Well, Cass, what does that look like? Many of you come from a lineage of healers, of believers, of sovereignty, of truth, of education. Some of y'all don't even know how you got all of this knowledge, how things make sense to you. Some of you don't even know that. Some of you are visionaries. You truly see the world so differently, right? There's no formal education, right? There's no test that you take to say, hey, I am naturally a healer, right? There's like nothing there, right? Yet you're able to display this level of expertise that you really can't even buy. I look at some of y'all and I'll be like, wow, how y'all do that? Where you learn that? And your answer is always usually the same. It's something along the lines of, it's just something I was born with. I woke up like this. You know what I mean? I went through a transformation in my life and I just knew how to do it. Like you had to cross a threshold. And I feel like that's so freaking awesome. But there's going to be people who do not believe that you have those skills or that you have that knowledge set or that you can truly heal or that you have these powers. There's going to be people that don't believe because there's not a piece of paper hanging up on your wall to say that you can do that. Prime example. Before I did get that piece of paper to hang up on my wall, I was always someone that could hold a space even when things were uncomfortable. I was always someone who could sit in silence when shit got hard. Tap in. I was always someone who knew that most people aren't looking for a fix-it. They're looking for someone to just hear them and sit with them in a moment that is probably one of the most difficult in their lives. I've always possessed that gift. In order to do it professionally, I had to go to school for it. But in my teenage years, because I didn't have anybody to say, okay, well, you're professionally able to do this, my leadership skills, even at that age, were not validated, even though when I finally got face to face or was able to perform my skills, I blew people's minds. Tap in. You're going to have to be comfortable with leadership without validation. You're going to have to validate your journey. You're going to have to validate your truth. Tap in. That's real. And a lot of women get tripped up with that because they feel like, and I know for a fact, oh my God, I know for a fact that a lot of women go back and get hellified certifications and different things across the globe because you're trying to validate an ancestral gift, a God-given gift. You're trying to validate that. Honey, it is in you, not on you. And there's no amount of paperwork that you can receive that's going to even allow the world to know just how precious your gifts are. Listen to me when I tell you this. Listen to me when I tell you this. Get comfortable in your leadership without validation. Tap in. And I want you to recognize that being grounded, I am someone, I got to tell you, hold on, y'all. I am someone who believes in prayer. I believe in prayer alchemy. I believe that speaking to God is probably one of the most powerful forms of spiritual governance that exists on the face of this planet. And when I say prayer, I'm not talking about religion. I'm not talking about something that's organized. I'm talking about you and the Most High. Don't know religion on prayer. Okay? I want you to get grounded in your prayers. Because I know for a lot of women, when you're on the go, you can forget to go into your prayer closet. You can forget to take a moment to pray out loud. Mm-hmm. Get grounded in your prayers and your self-governance. What does that mean? Self-governance. That means you know the moves you must make. And even in the face of opposition, you're able to handle your business. Tap in. Opposition just means you're going in the right direction. Mm-hmm. And you're still able to handle your business. My grandma used to say that all the time, handle your business. Mm-hmm. That was her signature, one of her many signature phrases of my grandma. Every time I got the phone, I'm like, all right, my mom, I love you. She's like, all right, handle your business. That means whatever business you got in front of your face. Okay? Spiritual, emotional, psychological, financial, it didn't matter. Handle your business. Tap in. So I need you to understand that when you are the woman who's doing what's never been done before, you are entering an identity authorship. You are now writing a story that's going to be read by millions of people. And I know right now in this climate that we're sitting in, you're like, millions of people, who's going to read it? Like, girl, the people who's coming after this are going to read your story. They're going to look at you and they're going to say, oh my gosh, Tina, you did this. Carrie, you did this. Casey, you did this. Elle, you did this. T, you did this. Mermaid, you did this. Like, if you did it, I can do it. You got to remember that our heroes of yesteryear are not going to be the heroes of tomorrow, of the next generation. We're carrying on that spirit, which is why it's imperative that identity authorship and women's leadership is pushed to the forefront, and there is a framework that supports you. So I'm here. Hi, my name is Cass. I'm an intuitive prophetic speaker, and I am an arrival era leadership coach. Woo! It's the first time I've ever said that out loud, baby. I am also doing identity authorship in a framework called the arrival era trademark. It's never been seen before. And if you're interested in my arrival era framework and what it can do to you, I need you to join me on my fireside chat, February 15th, 2026 at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to speak to what it means to be in your arrival era, why women just like you often miss the fact that you are no longer in a perpetual healing cycle. You can ask me questions. I will give you answers. And it's a really chill vibe to introduce a new space that is rarely seen on any social media platform. Tap in. The link is both in the description and is pinned in this chat box. Okay, so let me continue on because I'm about to get into this this message a little bit deeper. So I kind of ran down what's going on with you. Ooh, we got the Knight of Wands in reverse. Ooh, wee. All right, let's talk about it with this Knight of Wands in reverse. And what's at the bottom? The Six of Cups. Ooh, Knight of Wands and the Six of Cups. This is big energy for me. The reason why the Knight of Wands in reverse is big energy for me is because I feel like a lot of y'all are unsure how to categorize yourself. I feel like a lot of you are just like, okay, Cass, I know that I have this journey. I know that I'm about to like do something big, but I don't know what to call this. And my thing is, do you need a name for it? Do you? Of course. Six of Cups, big energy saying like, yeah, you don't have to have a name for it. You know what it is. Come up with the name later. Come up with the name later. And I feel like a lot of y'all, just speaking to some of the resistance that you might be feeling, a lot of y'all harp on the one thing that you feel needs to be perfect before you move forward. But it happened. It's the reverse. You need to move forward before things are perfect. Yes, that's how you perfect your craft. Tap in, my God, today. So whatever it is that you are stuck on, whatever it is that you believe you have to put so much attention and time to at the very beginning, no, you don't. No, you don't. And I need you to recognize that that is a part of the fear mechanism that kicks in and keeps you stuck. Tap in. Yeah. It's a part of the fear mechanism that kicks in and keeps you stuck when you feel like you have to just focus on this one thing that really in the scheme of what you're trying to do don't mean nothing. Tap in. Oh my God, today. I already know the collective. I already know how y'all roll because listen, I've been there. Pre-arrival era, pre-witness era. I focused so much on a website that I probably spent more hours on one line in the website than I had worked on my business. That was what got me hung up. And it wasn't until I actually had to start speaking to myself and in my prayers, I had to say like, whoa, this is really stopping me from putting my voice out there. And why am I focused on that instead of focusing on putting my voice out there? Some of y'all might look different, but I'm telling you, if you are unsure how to categorize something, the category will come once you start putting the work in. Oh my God, today. And a lot of times when that even happens, this Knight of Wands is really speaking. A lot of times when that happens, you actually become hesitant to affirm what your purpose is. So there's a lot of hesitancy here, even though that fire within you is speaking. You're still holding yourself back. You're still saying, okay, am I enough? Am I able to do this? Will the people hear me? Will this make an impact? Even though you have something that is so special, even though you know that your journey is being God-led, you're still sitting back talking about something, I don't even know. No. You got to move. You have to move. And you know what else this Knight of Wands is giving me? This Knight of Wands is giving me, some of y'all might be confused at how calm you feel inside. Yeah. Some of y'all might actually be confused at how calm you feel inside. That calmness comes from a space of knowing that this is where you're supposed to go. The nervous system, that little bit of anxiety, that feeling you feel in the pit of your stomach, that is your nervous system trying to protect you. Okay. Don't get it confused, because you know in your mind, this is where you're supposed to go. You know this. That's why you're just like, okay, I know I'm supposed to bust this move, but how exactly am I supposed to do this? While you're figuring that out, Your gut is telling you every inch that you go closer to your goals, your gut is telling you, okay, maybe you need to wait a minute. Maybe you can step back. Girl, drink some apple cider vinegar, drink some tea, calm your gut down. Okay, maybe take a laxative and handle your business. Tap in. Oh my God, today. This is really interesting because I feel like many of you have struggled so hard. You've struggled so hard to find your place. And listen, and when I say struggle so hard to find your place, I mean not like just in this world, but find a community that truly supports you. Oh my God, today. That's why I know some of y'all do feel alone. Some of y'all feel like, okay, well, what's the point of going out and tapping in with all these sister circles? What's the point of going out and tapping in with all of these what do you call those like talks, like TED Talks and retreats? Some of y'all spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yeah, hundreds of thousands of dollars on retreats to find a connection, to find the answer, to find a support group. Y'all spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to hear people speak only for them to gatekeep. Only for them to not give you what you really paid for, which is the freaking answer. Tap in. I need you to understand the discomfort that you're feeling is not going to be answered at a retreat. It's not going to be answered in a sister circle. It's not going to be answered, hell, by me right now. The answer is going to be found in the discomfort. Tap in. The answer is going to be found in the discomfort. And that may sound like, Cass, that sounds like everybody else, but let me tell you what happens inside of that discomfort, baby. Okay. It's not just saying the word discomfort. That is when every ounce of everything that you've ever known in your entire life is getting crumbled into a ball, or it feels compressed. Therefore, you feel compressed. You feel like you need to break free. But breaking free means that you have to let go of everything that you've ever known. You might actually have to get rid of some of them whack ass friends you got. Tap in. You might actually have to cut your mama out. Tap in. You might actually have to buck up to certain family members, and a bow or three might get thrown in the mix. I don't know. I'm not wishing that on you. I'm just saying that when it's time for you to break free, there might be people actually holding on to your arms, holding on to your legs, where you feel like you're just dragging, that you're not gonna fully make it. You got to kick them hoes off. Okay? You got to kick them off the island. I'm sorry. Not sorry. The discomfort happens when you recognize that you have been reared to answer somebody else's call and not your own. The discomfort comes when you feel that guilt that you're not answering somebody else's call and you have to break away. That's where the discomfort comes from. So when people say, oh, you have to get uncomfortable, what does that look like for you? That might look like for a lot of you taking out a crazy amount of money to fund your dreams. And you don't know how you're going to pay back. For some of y'all, getting uncomfortable looks like asking for help. And it's uncomfortable because every other time that you ask for help, somebody try to throw it back in your face. Baby, first of all, let me tell you what we're going to do. We're going to ask the experts for help. We're not asking no roly-poly, fake-ass holy up in our community that's out for self for help. No, we're going to turn to the experts, okay? And it ain't nothing but a G thing to pull up your laptop, pull up your cell phone, and write an email. Tap in. It's called a cold email. Some of y'all might get those in your inbox when you click on, other or promotions. Those are cold emails of people reaching out to you saying, hey, I think you might actually be interested in this thing. What's to stop you from finding somebody who is a subject matter expert, called a SME, subject matter expert, and saying, hey, you don't know me, but my name is blank, and I am on this journey of blank. I've searched for people who might know the answer, and I'm not getting it. Are you able to have 15 minutes of a sit down with me or write an email exchange? Thank you so much. Best, love, happy, Tuesday, Cass, boom. That, to get up to that, even pressing the send might be uncomfortable for a lot of you. I'm just speaking about the discomfort that we're moving past in 2026 and beyond. Because if you want to be witnessed, if you want to be witnessing your arrival era, then you're going to have to do the things that you've never done before. And when people say that, I feel like a lot of times they make it sound so grand, but it's not. These are micro movements in your life that give you the audacity, that reaffirms that you are a self-leader, like you're doing self-leadership, that you are sovereign. That's the point. That's the point of a woman that's in her arrival era, that she's able to operate in self-leadership, that she is sovereign, that she understands her peace, that she understands the work, that she does not mind loving herself more than she disapproves of the chaos. That she can be in a room, that she could be in a room full of women and be 100% comfortable. That she could be in a room full of bosses and be comfortable with not being the smartest one in the room. Tap in. That's what it means to be a woman in her arrival. And I get deeper into that in my fireside chat. Click that link to sign up. So if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't know where to go, I don't know why I'm feeling this way, I'm telling you, you're feeling this way because you're uncomfortable. Tap in. I'm telling you, you feel this way because God is telling you, girl, you need to do something that you've never done before. You have the capacity to figure it out, even if it's but a simple email. Even if all you have to do is fill out an application. You're scared to take the first step. And I'm telling you, as a woman who has gone through so much, I'm talking about you, a woman that has sacrificed so much for other people. You put on cakes for every single person that's been in your life. You put on the cake. You faced your fears when it came to other people. When it comes to yourself, you're having reservations. No, we're not waiting. We're not waiting. That's why we have the reservations, because we're going to the front of the line with this. Okay. So put your bra on or take it off, whichever one is comfortable. Okay. And let's get to work. Tap in. How y'all feeling? This message is just the bee's knees. Whoo, Knight of Cups coming in. Yeah, somebody felt good about that message. Somebody felt extremely good about that message with the Knight of Cups coming in. So we got the Knight of Wands in reverse, followed by the Knight of Cups. So I know that this message just fanned out and quenched that anxiety that some of y'all were feeling when we first started this message, because you know that you are forging a blueprint. You know that you are that woman to break the mold, to break those generational curses, to break those bad decisions, to break away from the people who no longer pour into you, to find a tribe that does unapologetically pour into you. Oh my God, today I know that a lot of you are frustrated with the process. And I'm here to tell you that the frustration with the process is because A, you're probably expecting fast results, whichever happens, and B, because you're not willing to do not hard work, but different work. You tell me. You tell me. Whoo-wee. Excuse me, y'all. All right, you guys know I'm still recovering from that really nasty cold that got me last month. Whew, thank you, God, for allowing that to move through my body, even when I'm live. So here's the thing. Ooh, looking at the Seven of Swords. Here's the thing. Where we have to get real with each other, okay? And if you're feeling this message, first of all, hey, would you subscribe to this channel, girl, okay? And if you know somebody that needs to hear this message, you make sure you share this video with them, okay? Tap in. I need you to understand that what you're doing is essentially building a structure where one previously did not exist. And oftentimes, when you believe that there's a structure that's already built, a structure is built from somebody else's perspective, from somebody else's life story, from somebody else's goals. And you might be able to take parts of their framework and integrate it. But truly, when you are doing something that's new, there's not really much out there. So your work is going to speak for itself on so many levels. Tap in. I need you to also understand, especially with this Knight of Cups, that there's going to be a lot of clarity here. It's going to be a lot of clarity happening here. It's almost going to be like a smoke screen. Is like the smoke is just going to clear away from you. Yeah. And this is powerful because a lot of times when I'm speaking to women who are in high capacity leadership roles, whether it's they are stay-at-home mothers or running businesses for themselves, they are in Fortune 500 or even Fortune 1000 companies. Some of them are in Fortune 100 companies. Whether it's women who have retired after years and decades in the service, like no matter what, when you live a life that's kind of like robotic to a sense, you often ignore the fog, right? You often ignore the space or the environment because you have to do what you have to do, right? You're in a sort of survival mode, right? When you start going on a new journey, things become clear for you. And I don't want you to let that clarity disrupt the flow that you have going on. It might, okay? It might, because when you have clarity, you're receiving so many downloads. That's neither here nor there. I want you to focus on the mission, but also recognize that this clarity is a gift and a blessing. The other side of that clarity, it's going to be a lot of people who are going to get the boot. You're going to become, this clarity comes with high irritability. Tap in. This clarity comes with high irritability. You're going to get irritated at a whole lot of dumb stuff all the time. And this dumb stuff might come from the people that you love. Tap in. This dumb stuff might come from the TV shows you used to watch. So I need you to be very clear that this clarity, it's going to be steady and it only gets more precise. And this clarity is so wow, because what ends up happening is that in the moment, it might not be as precise, or in the beginning, that's what I want to say. In the beginning, the clarity might not be as precise. As you work through this part of your arrival era, okay, because you know there's levels to this. As you work through your arrival era, your clarity is going to be so like precision on point that you might end up scaring yourself and you surely gonna scare other people. And I always tell you, girl, you don't get out of here with this young people stuff. This is a grown woman conversation. Thank you. Okay. Yes, I'm real. Yes, yes. Hair real. Okay. All this is blinking about. All this is real. And if you're saying I don't look real, well, thank you. I appreciate that. But no, we're real here. Anyway, this clarity is going to be a compass for you. So again, there are going to be times where there's liminal spaces. Liminal means is you're resting. A lot of that clarity comes through then. Tap in. Whew. Yeah. Big Seven of Swords energy. What just fell out? Six of Cups fell out again with the Three of Wands. Woo-wee. All right. Somebody just woke up in the threshold. Somebody just woke up in this threshold. Somebody just realized with the Queen of Cups. Somebody just realized that they are in their arrival era, and they like, Cass, I don't even know where to start. That's why you need to be tapped in with my How to Know You're in Your Arrival Era fireside chat. Okay, it's happening February 15th, 2026 at 10 a.m. Go ahead and click that link so you can get in where you fit in, baby, because you don't want to miss it. All right, it's going to be a lot of interesting information in there about how to know you're in your arrival era, what to do while you're there, why women like you are often ignored in their arrival era. Because let me tell you something, baby girl, people assume because you know how to handle your business that you're open for handling everybody else's business. Oh, baby. Don't nobody check on the strong friends, right? Don't nobody call you to see how you're doing, even though you've called everybody to see how they're doing. Even though you've given everything for everybody, right? You've given your last, which what I tell y'all, stop doing that. Stop giving your last. If it ain't your babies, or ain't the people that you really honestly care about, know that got your back, stop giving your last. Tap in. Hi, Mrs. Wyatt. Okay. Oh my God, today, splitting the deck, Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, that's what I said with the Four of Swords. Confirmation. That ain't nothing but a pure confirmation. I also want you, the Six of Cups and Three of Wands is also giving me some really good energy here. A lot of people going to scrutinize you. A lot of people going to open up their mouth and tell you that you don't know what you're talking about. They're going to open up your mouth and tell you that you don't have the credentials. They're going to open up and tell your mouth that God told them to tell you. Okay, y'all going to hear a lot of that in this journey. Y'all going to hear so much God told me to tell you. I want you, listen, this is why I say your discernment over tradition. Tap in. Okay. I want you to be very clear that when you hear God told me to tell you, especially when you're about to make a major decision, that ain't God. So that's cosplaying. That's the ego. That's somebody ego telling you. Okay, tap in. It's a cosplay. Yeah. All right. My goodness. Whew. Now somebody just put in the chat that child support and alimony is insane. I don't know where in the world that got to do with a woman in her arrival era, but maybe it does, because see, a lot of women have dealt with that child support and alimony. Okay, and they've gone through the cycle of perpetual gaslighting. Okay, I mean, you know what? Maintaining your self-trust under scrutiny just like really came in, didn't it? With that message, my God, today let's talk about it, okay? Because it's not about the child. It's not about the child support. It's about raising the child. It's about raising the baby. And broken people who refuse to believe that child support is to support the child are weirdos. So my God, what kind of demon are you? Hi, Joe. Thank you so much for your gift. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So you have to trust yourself in knowing that not everybody is going to see the value in your blueprint, which is your baby. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a lot of people who do not see the value in investing in the growth of your baby. Mm-hmm. They're just going to see it as an insult to their livelihoods. And that's actually what ends up happening when you pour yourself into your baby, into your dream, into this blueprint. You're doing something that's never been done before. And you'll get people that have opposition to that simply because, well, they're hating hoes. Tap in. I mean, they can't get no more spiritual elliptical than that, right? Tap in. Isn't it crazy how people come into the chat thinking that they are going to distract when they only help us make our point even better? Tap in. My God, today. And that's what I wanted to say about this Three of Wands and this Six of Cups, y'all. I really wanted to say, like, this is more than just self-trust. This is trusting God's process. Ooh. This is trusting God's process. Yeah. And it's beautiful. And I want you to see it as such. I want you to see it as such. This is also a moment where it's going to be 1,000 adjustments, 1,000 micro adjustments. Hi, Travis. You're going to have to learn how to micro adjust without abandoning your assignment. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No worries, Travis. Yeah. And you're going to have to learn how to pivot without abandoning the assignment. Mm-hmm. Because when you know, you know. When you know that you are establishing a blueprint that's never been seen before, shit just feels different. You absorb life differently. You absorb messages differently. Some of those friends and family that's been around you for a long time, they will open up their mouth and say, you're different. This is something different about you. Whew. My God. Some of y'all might be hearing that right now. Some of y'all might actually be hearing there's something different about you. You're not the same person. And I feel like a lot of that is coming because many of you are starting to draw your boundaries, actually. I feel like there's a lot of boundary setting here. Six of Cups, Three of Wands. Yeah. A lot of thresholds happening. Yeah. Knight of Wands in reverse with the Knight of Cups. Yeah, a lot of people emotionally using you. Some of y'all might have been emotional dumpsters. People just dumping their emotions on you and expecting you to figure out what's going on in their life or why their life is so wrong. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. And I love that for you. Oh my God, today. I need to say this, and I don't know how it's going to come off to many of you, but some lives are not meant to repeat the same old patterns. Some lives are truly meant to establish patterns. And there are going to be a lot of people who are okay with repeating the same patterns over and over again. Mhm. Even when the patterns prove to be harmful, discombobulated, disjointed, uh, unethical. Let me tell you something. Ethics don't require a ethics does not require a precedent for it to be legitimate. Precedence does not sorry, ethics does not require a precedence, which means because you're doing something that's never been done before, you're navigating new territory. There's going to be some ethical points that come up in your life that you have to deal with. You do not need a blueprint to stand firm in your business. You do not need a blueprint to stand firm in what God is telling you to do in order for it to be legitimate. You said what you said. You're doing what you're doing. Okay? And if people cannot wrap their minds around that, that is not your problem. That's not your problem. You're setting the precedence today. That's why I'm saying, like, what you're doing now, and you're probably like, well, Cass, what am I doing? This is your journey, girl. You know what you're doing. Are you starting a business? Are you breaking generational curses? Are you going to school? Are you learning a new language? Are you starting your art? Tell me what you're doing. You're doing something that is unique to your life. Yeah, to your life. Do you know how many people? Let me tell you something. I went to a really big private school. I went to USC, okay, University of Southern California, right? It's probably one of the top schools in the world, okay? And they have an incredible amount of doctorate programs. And there is a framework for a dissertation for a doctorate program. It usually comes with, a lot of research, right? Questionnaires, writing, reading, right? For a dissertation, okay? And I've been approached by a few doctoral candidates. And there was only, I would say, let's say it's been 10. Out of the 10, maybe 2 have taken the traditional route of a dissertation, and the other 8 have taken unconventional routes, which means they're flying all over the country, asking questions, they're calling up the news stations, they're doing their own research to reference in their research. They're conducting studies. They're going to the board. They're going to the ethics boards for research to do different types of experiments. Okay, like next level stuff. And let me let you in on a little secret myself. Okay, before I say, you know what, I'm done with school, I had my own little dissertation I was working on. It was a pretty cool dissertation too. Okay, really cool. And it required a different energy of me because I was interviewing. I wanted to know what the mindset was of the Vietnam War generation, specifically those that have been sent to Vietnam, what their viewpoints were on end of life. Okay. There was no research out there on what I was asking for. Okay. There was no book I could have read, no matter if it was a book about death and dying or transformation or they didn't matter. The book of the Tibetan Book of Dead, the Egyptian Book of Dead, it didn't matter because I was asking a very specific subset of humans, very few, as a matter of fact, that existed on the face of this planet about what they saw about end of life, but they thought about it. That's a very unique experience, right? No one has ever walked that path before to do that as a dissertation. I need you to reframe your mind. Same thing for you. You're very unique. You have a very unique position about you. You see the world in so many different colors. It's not to say we could be looking at the same thing and not be looking at the same thing. We could be hearing the same message and not get the same message. Tap in. It is truly amazing how what your life is, you can so easily sit back and be like, nah, it's not that important. It's not going to make a difference. You are the difference. What? You're the difference. Whew. The Empress. Talk about you are the difference. I couldn't think of a better card. Girl, talk about you are the difference. I need you to understand, spiritually, whew, you're welcome, baby. I love you. Spiritually, this is what you're doing is prophetic work. And you might not see it as that, but it often is that. And it's not always going to be received in the light that it should be. Because truly what you're doing is you are breaking through a lot of the darkness. And if you're resonating with this message, please double tap this screen and just show this stream some love. Okay, I'm still a very small, growing channel, and your support means the world to me. So thank you so much for all of the likes and all of the subscribing and sharing of the video. Thank you. This Empress is telling me that all of those that are assigned to a new ground, you're not affirmed early. No. It's quiet a lot of the times. People call you crazy, say that you don't know what you're doing. The Empress is a very unique, passionate, loving, insightful archetype. The Empress feels what's going on before she finds the words. Very observational, proactive instead of reactive, right? Protective of what is yet to be born, what is yet to manifest, very protective of it. And I want you to know that, woman, if you are operating in this space, honor it. Honor it. I'm speaking life and love into you so that you know what you're going through, what your experience is legit, is real, is happening. You're not just imagining this, which many of you say, like, for such a long time. You guys tell me for such a long time, I didn't even know if what I was going through was the right thing. I'm telling you, you taking the first step forward is the right thing. This is the right place for you. I want you to dig your feet in because you're going to be here for a while, soaking in all of this abundance. Oh, because see, even though you did the hard work, I don't ever want you to forget that at the light at the end of this particular tunnel is abundance, baby. That's what this is. Tap in. Ooh. Y'all, your arrival era is so sacred. Your arrival era is so next level. I want you to recognize that this state of affairs can only be met through divine power. That's it. When you are forging a blueprint, you are doing things you've never done before, you're stepping into a world. Oh my gosh. What did Blondie say? Who's old enough to remember Blondie? Okay, I'm old enough to remember Blondie. Okay, she was a singer way back in the day. And she had this song called, and it was like, step into a world where there's no one else but the very best. No one else can touch. Was that the lyrics? Was that the freaking lyrics? I just like, is y'all, somebody now listen, I need y'all to affirm what the heck I just said. Okay. That's how I'm feeling for the collective right now. You're stepping into a world where there's nobody else but the very best that no one else can touch. My God, today. Woo! Was that Blondie, y'all? Now I gotta look it up. Y'all know now I got to look it up because y'all not fast enough in the chat for me. Hold on. And I feel like somebody remixed that song. Okay, KRS-One, of course, remixed that song. Oh my gosh. I feel like that was Blondie so hard. Rapture, Blondie. Yes, it was Rapture by Blondie. Now, y'all see, that's how old I am. And KRS-One, Knowledge Reigns Supreme, sampled that song. That's what I'm getting. That you stepping into a world where there's no one else but the very best that no one can touch. Whew. I love that for you, collective. I love that for you. Now, before I get up out of here with that ending, my God, today, I just want to clap. Let me clap for y'all. Let me clap for that message. Before I get up out of here, y'all, let me tell you something that's really juicy that's coming up. February 15th, I will be doing a fireside chat. Okay. A fireside chat is essentially a conversation, an informal conversation about whatever the topic is. In this case, the topic will be how to know that you are in your arrival era. All right. Excuse me. In this fireside session, I will be talking about how to recognize you're in your arrival era, the difference between being watched and being truly witnessed, which many of you, oftentimes when we're listening to these different prophetic messages and the tarot readers, they're always talking about people watching you. I'm talking about being witnessed, baby. It's a difference because, see, people will watch you and not change their behaviors. They'll watch you and they'll allow their ego to hate on you. They'll watch you and try to plot against you. I'm talking about being witnessed where you are seen for who you truly are without anything else attached to it. You are honored in this space. My God, today, that's the difference. That's the blueprint I'm freaking setting. Okay? And that's why I can recognize when a woman is in her blueprint doing things that she's never done before and changing the game. That's why I can recognize you, baby. Tap in. Oh my God, today. I'm going to talk about why do women who carry responsibility often feel unseen at this stage. I know that women who are in their arrival era, high capacity women like yourself, you're not being seen. You feel alone at this stage. Why? Because everybody wants to keep you in a cycle of perpetual healing. Girl, you done did the work. You done beat off the haters. You so far above what haters are, that's not even in the front of your mind. Tap in. Oh my God, today. And I'm going to be talking about how to move in this space without apology or explanation. If that's something you're interested in, click that link because you do not want to miss this fireside conversation, okay? You don't. Especially if you are a woman who is high capacity, high value. I know we about tired of that phrase, but let me tell you something. The women I'm speaking to are the high value. Listen, they are the value, okay? Tap in. You've done the work. You've journaled, you've done the retreats, you do the affirmations when you're in the mirror, but you're also not the same person. You're not a juvenile at this. You're not, starting from the beginning. You're next level with this. Okay? I want you to remember that. So if you're interested, the date is February 15th. Put it on your calendar. Share this video. Let the girls know. Let the women know that the arrived women are gathering. Okay? There's never been a name for women like you before. There's never been a group like this. All these little manifestation groups are like, no, we're not doing that. You've already done that. What I'm gonna talk to you about manifesting for when you live in the life that you manifested. Girl. No, Travis, it's the other way around. It's 10, 11, it's 1 Eastern Standard Time. Oh, I'm about to say, is that right? I wouldn't even want y'all up that early. Not on no Sunday. You got your times backwards, T. It's all good. Oh my God. So yes, y'all make sure y'all are there, that fireside chat. Also, go to my community tab and check out, please, my God, today. Check out my witnessed woman Telegram suite. It is free. The link will be on my community tab. Babe, when I say I'm building a community for women just like you, because there hasn't been one for us at this level or this capacity, baby, I'm trying to tell you, okay? All right. With that being said, y'all, I will catch y'all the next time. I've been on here for way too long, y'all. Way too long. But y'all make sure y'all tap that link in the description or in my pinned comment section. Thank you to everybody who has contributed to this live stream. Whether you double tap the screen, you stayed to listen for a spell, you subscribe, you donated your hard-earned, beautiful money, whatever it is, however you did this, you shared this video. I thank you so very much. Cass Young Crown is a growing channel. We are still very young, but listen, we're growing. And I love you guys every single time that you email me, you ask me questions, you want to know. I'm growing with you guys. So the expansion is real and it's only up from here, okay? Step into a world where there's no one else but the very best that no one else can touch. And I'll see you there. Bye, y'all.